This podcast is in response to a request that someone asked me to do a podcast on Demi Moore's face. And the photos that I see online, obviously, is that she's had way too much place into the anterior cheek. What's interesting is the photo that's been circulating around online is of her actually not smiling. And you can only imagine how much worse that photograph looks, or how much worse she looks in person when she actually does smile. This is the reason why when I put fillers in the cheeks, I actually don't put it in the central anterior cheek, which is what every other person does. It just makes the front look too heavy and full, and it looks weird. In addition, when they smile, it looks even 10x worse. What's also interesting is a lot of women want this sculpted look where they're wanting the outer face to have this very high cheekbone or cheek area. And that's what the other part of the filler they have done as well. And what's very interesting is that step off is even more dramatic to the area in the buccal zone. That's the area below the cheek. And actually the area below the arch of the bone on the outer face is actually what I fill all the time. I call it the subzygomatic zone. It's underneath the arch of the bone. So I fill that because when that area below the zygomatic arch actually becomes depressed, if you augment too much on the actual cheek mound on the outside portion, it actually causes too much of a drop-off point. And that's what you're seeing here, an excessive drop-off point all the way across from the front to the sides. And so women obviously say, look, I want a sculpted look, I want it to be narrowed in, but that skeletonized outer face is really what makes someone look older. So I don't make people fat or round, but I do soften that transition zone. And so what I always say is that the way that the filler, what I do is instead of just adding volume, I look at bony transition points. So where that bone drops off, if you can just fill a little bit at the edge of where that bone drops off, you don't see the transition of the bone as much. Your brain erases the bone. And so that's really the trick with this. So I don't even think her outer face is overfilled. Her central face is definitely overfilled. What I would do is just soften the transition zone from the side, and I would dissolve the front cheek. So that's probably what's happening with Demi Moore right now. And it may be fat grafting, by the way. Who knows? It could be filler or fat. It's unclear what kind of product she has in her face.